We tend to see more of the negatives than we do the positives, because the negatives are on TV and social media, like talking about, well, recently we just had, the news was a high school student and a middle school student who identify as cats, insisting there's litter boxes in the schools. And we thought that was a one-time thing, and now we're hearing it's in other schools. There really are litter boxes in the hallways. and it seems to be, well, when I went to school, they didn't even allow cats in school. And now they've got litter boxes. It's so confusing. So we see something like that, and of course the community starts talking about how bad things are. And then there's fires in Canada, and now we've got smoke overhead. We only seem to hear the bad. We don't seem to hear the good.
Humanity, Earth, is under control of a dark force. And has been for thousands of years. The Hindus will call it Kali Yuga. If they take away, now think about this. You've had complete control over billions of people. All of the resources, you've convinced them that this abundant earth, abundant, rich in everything. There's no rarity on Earth. Earth is not the place of rarity. Earth is the place of utter abundance. They've convinced you all that things are scarce, because what happens? That keeps you in control. That keeps you following the plan. That keeps you from ascending. They know exactly what's happening here. They know that the earth is ascending. They know the earth is rising. And more importantly, they know humanity is rising. So in order to keep the vibrations low and keep you guys in control, they have to tell you these radical things about, kids going to the bathroom in kitty boxes, So they have to blow this up so people stay distracted and they stay low vibrational and they don't ascend. In order for everybody to ascend on Earth, turn the TV off. The TV, social media, there is a good place for social media when it comes to your ascension, as long as it's used properly, where you can connect with like-minded people who are all over the planet, so you can get that reassurance that people do want to move this thing forward here. It's a good opportunity for the misunderstood ones to connect with other people. These kids are coming out deeply empathic, and they're completely misunderstood by humanity, right? It's good for them. It's good for them to connect with each other and connect with adults who can understand them as well, right? Without judgment. In order to prevent this love, this bonding, this real human experience from happening, they have to tell you that it's not happening. And we're at a point, you have a choice. The best thing humanity could do is to turn the TV off. The news is not telling you all the good things. If the news had any real integrity, it would tell you guys all the positive things that are taking place on your planet. All the really lovely things. All the little tiny acts of kindness. Imagine if your news told you that. Imagine if your news told you an old lady was walking into a place and somebody helped her. Or somebody didn't have groceries, so the person behind them paid for the groceries. Or all the people who donate to a food pantry. Or all the people who donate their time and their resources to helping veterans, children, homeless people, the pets, the dogs, all of these wonderful things that make you human beings. If they told you all these things, you would remember who you are, and you wouldn't play this game anymore with each other, and you wouldn't play their game, and you would have complete love. Complete love. Now, of course, what would that do? Well, going back to the point of equilibrium, you do need some bad. You do need some good. They just need to remain in balance for everything to be complete homeostasis. You guys need a guideline of how not to behave. That's what you're here to learn on Earth. When you leave Earth, you're not seeing this. So if you go to Earth and you see the not so positive things that take place, that's a good learning tool for you. It has to be semi not as positive. But as far as is the world as wicked as they say, it isn't. It isn't. It just seems like it is. Because going back to the sand analogy, if you hold something like this, it doesn't move, right? So they need that fear to grip you so you don't move.
Thank you so much for that. We appreciate it.
She was on social media for a long time, and it was negativity. It affected her mindset. It affected her psyche. Mm-hmm. I don't think she realizes how much is stuck in her from this. It's a traumatizing place when you use it inappropriately, which she was. She was using it ineffectively. She wasn't raising the vibration of humanity. She thought she was. She wasn't. She was lowering the vibration of humanity. And a lot of the trauma that has come from social media still sticks with her as far as her trusting in humanity. That has hurt her a lot. So her being off social media, she does not belong on social media and needs to stay far away from it. It has not brought her happiness. But people who know how to use it appropriately, that can really help them unify the world.
Mm. So when we hear a story on social media and pick up the phone or repost and saying, watch out for this, be careful of that, we're really feeding into the negative.
Absolutely. It's hurting humanity. Mm. You've now created an energetic tie between you and that incident, which may or may not be real. Mm-hmm. And now you've posted it again, and you have followers and people who are now interacting with your post, and they're now creating that energetic tie. So something small has now gone like this, and realistically, what happens? What happens after it? What did it do to change the day?
People get into fear.
Yeah, they get into fear, and they believe it. And then what happens is, fear is now releasing a lot of these hormones in your body, and now you're having a hormonal flux in your system, and now the fear, you're in fight or flight, fight, flight, freeze, and now your cortisol is rising, and you're not in a situation where you need that influx of glucose, and insert weight problems, insert hormonal imbalances, insert health problems. It's because your body is not regulated. When we stay in this constant fear, it's going to long-term have effects.
So if we were to think of every post and say, how can we change that to create an emotion of love, would that be more beneficial?
Yes. Use social media for a place to push back against this. With the algorithms and how they've mastered the art of twisting your psyche. It's difficult. They want you to see the fear because fear sells and fear works. So in order to avoid that, you have to now start getting into an algorithm game where you have to be very cognizant of posts that you like, things you follow that are only positive, so they constantly feed you more positive content. And as that starts to happen, or if you see something negative, just move past it. Or if you see something negative and you find that there's something positive that happened in it, If there's a fearful title, just leave it alone. But if there's some way that you can spin it so it's positive, so people can see there's a positive outcome that happened here, that can also help them. You just have to be careful with spreading the fear, because even if there's a positive outcome, sometimes just the fact that something negative happened will be the part that sticks with the person. So shifting how you post and what you read and what you watch is really critical to the evolution here that's taking place in human consciousness. It's so fast with social media. It's so fast with TV. It's so fast with radio. And everybody has the cell phones and the tablets and the computers and all these, the cars are talking to you guys now. Everything is so readily accessible. Everything is so easy to get. So you have to be very, very cognizant of what you're allowing access to your psyche.
Do you have a message for humanity?
You are doing it. You're doing it. It's happening. Trust each other and believe in each other. You are not alone on this planet. You are not alone ever. We're all here for you. We're all watching you. You have a battalion of entities with our eyes on you. There will be no alien invasion. It's never going to happen. This is the land of free will. Aliens can't come and invade your country or your planet. They've been here the entire time, by the way. They've been helping you. They've been assisting you. They've been keeping you out of nuclear wars. They've been preventing the lower vibrational entities running the show, the man behind the curtain, from completely decimating the planet. Do not be scared of this. Do not be scared of this. And if you see something on social media, or if you see something on TV, or if you see something, hear something in your radio about an alien invasion, it's just not true. Hold each other tight. It's going to get bumpy, and it's going to be fine. Growth only comes when something dramatic changes. If you think about what a butterfly went through to become a butterfly, the caterpillar had to shed everything to become the butterfly. That's what humanity is going through right now. You're going through a complete dissolution of yourselves to grow into something magnificent and beautiful.
Is there anything I forgot to talk with you about today?
I think she needs to just remember, you can't see if you close your heart down. Your third eye and your heart chakras work together. If you close your third eye, your heart isn't going to work. If you close your heart down, your third eye isn't going to work. They work together. So embrace all the things that happened to her. She needs to just, it's happened for her, not to her. She needs to embrace change. She needs to embrace positivity. She needs to embrace love. She needs to embrace who she really is. And she'll get to where she wants to be.
Thank you, we appreciate that. Do we have permission to ask a question for ourselves?
Yes.
Talk to us about cancer and severe illnesses. How can a person remove these horrible illnesses?
You need to be mindful of what you consume. The cancer has been magnified.
Mm-hmm.
When humanity hears cancer, everyone thinks death.
Mm-hmm.
That's really not the case. So cancer and disease, they come from blocked energy, bad food, vaccines, medicines. Your water is poisoned. Your air is contaminated. So be very mindful of things being told to you by an industry that has a lot of money invested into itself. Do not put cancer-causing chemicals on your body to prevent skin cancer from the giver of life, which is the sun. The sun is not causing your cancer. Be very mindful of the food you consume. There's a lot of chemicals, there's a lot of pesticides, there's a lot of fake food, highly processed foods. Be very mindful of that. Be mindful of the water you drink. Be mindful of toothpaste that you use, lotions, skincare products. Be very mindful of that so you can start to minimize your risk of anything growing. Your body can only fight off so much, but if you're in a constant state of fight or flight, where your body is having a lot of reactions going on at once because you're fearful, well, now here comes cancer. Anger, depression, sadness, these constant, if you're in a constant state of these emotions, your body has to put the energy somewhere. It can't fight everything at once. So be mindful. Take some time, do some meditation, go outside, go back into nature, lean into love, turn the TV off, stay away from anything that is selling you a cure that has side effects that can kill you. Sugar is very bad for you. High sugar diets are not good. Lab-made fats are not good. Nature makes good fats. Remain centered, remain grounded. Don't be fearful. Fear is driving this.
Is there anything else you would like to talk with us about before we ask you to recede?
No.
We thank you so very, very, very much for coming to talk with us today. We thoroughly, thoroughly appreciate all of your wise words of wisdom. Is there anything that I can do to help more people through this process of what's going on in the world?
Be kind. She has people who come to her in her job who tell her things. And she has an image of what a healer should be. She's overlooking what it is. So if there's a person who comes up to you in a store or on the sidewalk and just starts to tell you something, just listen to them. because they might just need somebody to show them some compassion. Just little step by step. It doesn't have to be major. It doesn't have to be huge. It has to be one by one. So you change space-time. Every act of kindness that is committed here changes space-time. So as you start to be consistent with kindness every single day, it doesn't have to be big. Something very small goes a long way for somebody who may not be used to that. So as she gets these people coming to her, random people who come to her out of nowhere, and just they talk to her, they lay their problems out for her, or they vent to her, even if it's negativity, let these people vent. Let them have their moment to be seen. Because even though they're saying negative stuff, shield your energy. Even though they're saying negative stuff, do not create the energy tie, but you just changed their day. They feel seen, they feel heard, they feel better, they feel understood. And that's how things change. It might seem very little, but it doesn't have to be big. Kindness goes a very long way. So as humanity starts to shift, you'll start to see more of this. Something simple. What she'll do is she'll pick up trash. If there's trash near the dumpster, she picks it up and puts it in the dumpster. Simple things like that. The earth needs help too. The animals need help. Just be kind and gentle and patient with each other. Even if somebody is very negative. There's a reason.
Is it appropriate now to ask you to recede?
It is appropriate.
We thank you so very, very, very much for coming to talk with us today.